Have you ever noticed that the people who say the least are often the ones everyone can't stop thinking about? They don't fight for attention. They attract it. They don't shout to be heard. They let silence do the talking. In a world that overshares, mystery is rebellion. And in the game of power, mystery isn't just attractive, it's dangerous. Because mystery makes people lean in. It forces them to imagine, to wonder, to chase. And the person who controls curiosity controls emotion. No one embodied this better than the Phantom of the Opera, a man who ruled both fear and desire from the shadows. He didn't dominate through appearance, but through absence. He seduced not by revealing himself, but by becoming the question no one could answer. His mask wasn't just to hide a scar, it was to create one thing far more powerful: fascination, because fascination is the purest form of control. The Phantom understood what most people never learn, that what you hide strategically becomes more powerful than what you reveal impulsively. And that's the secret we'll uncover today: how mystery, when used with intention, becomes a weapon, not just of seduction, but of power. By the end of this video, you'll know how to use the same psychological principle to become more magnetic, respected, and emotionally untouchable, not by pretending to be someone else, but by mastering the art of being half seen and fully felt. Before we begin, hit subscribe and tell me in the comments, do you think mystery makes people powerful or manipulative? Because in the next few minutes, we'll expose the modern illusion that openness builds trust, when in reality, the people who are too easy to read are the easiest to control. We live in a world that rewards exposure, a world where everyone is told, be transparent, be vulnerable, show everything. And yet, the more people reveal, the less they are respected. The more they speak, the less they are heard. The more they try to be understood, the more invisible they become. Because mystery and visibility cannot coexist. And what most people call openness is often just emotional self-exposure without strategy. We've confused attention with attraction, but they are not the same. Attention is loud. Attraction is quiet. Attention fades when you stop performing, but attraction lingers because it's built on curiosity. That's the paradox no one wants to admit. The moment people think they fully understand you, they stop caring. Predictability kills desire, and the need to explain yourself kills authority. You've probably felt it before. You overtext, overtalk, overshare, hoping to feel closer to someone. But instead, you feel smaller, more exposed, less respected. That's not vulnerability. That's self-erasure. The truth is, people don't value what they fully know. They value what they're still trying to figure out. That's why mystery is so powerful. It activates projection. When you hold something back, people start to fill in the blanks. They imagine your motives, they romanticize your silence, they build a version of you that's often far more fascinating than the truth. And here's where psychology meets power. The person who knows less about you thinks about you more. That's why openness, when uncalibrated, is weakness. Not because sharing is bad, but because sharing without intention gives others control over your narrative. Meanwhile, the mysterious person holds the upper hand. They speak less, yet influence more. They're unpredictable yet unforgettable, because in a world addicted to exposure, scarcity becomes seduction, and no one understood this better than the Phantom of the Opera. He turned concealment into charisma and mystery into dominion. In the next chapter, we'll enter his world and uncover how a hidden face became a psychological empire. Beneath the beauty of the Paris Opera House, behind the curtains, beneath the stage, through the corridors no one dared to walk, lived a ghost, a voice, a legend. He was known only as the Phantom of the Opera. No one truly saw him, and yet everyone felt him. He controlled the theater not through strength, but through presence. A presence built on silence, timing, and fear of the unknown. Every whisper of his name carried weight. Every rumor added another layer to his power. His story begins with rejection. A man born disfigured, cast away by a world obsessed with perfection. He hid his face not just out of shame, but out of strategy. Because he discovered something most never do. When the world cannot see you, it begins to imagine you. And imagination is the purest form of power. The Phantom used this truth like an artist uses color. He designed his legend through illusion, through mystery, through control. He was never everywhere, but he made everyone believe he could be. He spoke only when he wanted to be heard and disappeared when he wanted to be desired. His mask became his weapon. It didn't just hide his scars. It created his myth. Behind it, he was untouchable. The mask separated the man from the myth, the human from the idea, and ideas can't be killed. That's the brilliance of the Phantom. He understood that visibility is vulnerability. He didn't need to dominate physically. He manipulated emotionally. He knew that people fear what they don't understand, and they're drawn to what they can't fully have. Through his concealment, he seduced. Through his absence, he ruled. Through mystery, he became immortal. His story isn't about love or music, so it's about psychological control. He mastered the theater not by performing on stage, but by directing it from the shadows. He made the world his audience, and emotion his instrument. That's not magic, that's mastery. Because in every relationship, every hierarchy, every stage, the one who reveals the least always commands the most. But how does this illusion actually work? Why does mystery make us obsessed, curious, even submissive? In the next part, we'll break down the psychology of mystery and reveal the mental triggers the Phantom used to control minds through silence, scarcity, and suggestion. Mystery is not about hiding, it's about selective revelation. It's the art of showing just enough to make others crave what remains unseen. Psychology has a name for this: the curiosity gap. It's the tension between what people know and what they want to know. The mind hates uncertainty. It will do anything to fill in the blanks, and whoever creates that tension controls the attention. The Phantom understood this instinctively. He never gave people the full truth. He gave them fragments, a shadow in the corridor, a note in the mirror, a voice from nowhere, and those fragments consumed their imagination. Because here's the secret: when people lack information, they don't stay neutral, they project. Projection is one of the most powerful forces in human psychology. When someone doesn't know your intentions, they invent them. They fill your silence with meaning, your absence with emotion, your mystery with fantasy. That's why mystery doesn't just attract, it possesses. This is how the Phantom seduced Christine, not by constant presence, but by becoming an idea in her mind, something between danger and desire. He became her obsession precisely because he remained undefined, and this principle applies far beyond romance. In business, in leadership, in influence, the mysterious person always holds the upper hand. Why? Because predictability breeds comfort, and comfort kills respect. When people can't fully read you, they start treating you with caution or curiosity. Either way, you've already set the emotional tone. Mystery activates two primal responses at once: fear and fascination. Fear because the unknown feels powerful. Fascination because the unknown feels alive. That emotional paradox, attraction mixed with uncertainty, is what makes mystery so intoxicating. And that's why the Phantom never needed brute strength. He understood a timeless truth. What people don't understand, they can't resist, and they can't control. Mystery, then, isn't just a trick of seduction. It's a form of psychological design. It gives you control over how others imagine you, and perception, once shaped, becomes reality. So the Phantom's mask wasn't hiding weakness, it was engineering imagination. And imagination, once awakened, is the most powerful force in human emotion. But how can you use this in your life, without deception, without games? In the next chapter, we'll extract the 4 laws of mystery and seduction based on the Phantom's psychology, so you can build magnetism and power through presence, silence, and precision. The Phantom of the Opera used silence to control emotion, shadows to create desire, and illusion to command attention, but his methods, though dark, reveal a deeper truth: that mystery is not deception, it's strategy. Because what you choose to hide says more about you than what you choose to show. Here are the 4 laws of mystery and seduction, principles that can make your presence unforgettable without saying a word. Law 1. Reveal less, influence more. In a world addicted to explanation, restraint feels divine. The more you reveal, the less people imagine. The less they imagine, the less they feel. The Phantom never gave full answers. He gave fragments, enough to make others crave completion. Application. Speak only what's essential. In conversation, leave certain thoughts unfinished. Silence doesn't create distance, it creates gravity, because the one who doesn't rush to fill the silence owns it. Law 2. control what they see. Perception is power. People don't respond to truth. They respond to what they believe is truth. The Phantom's mask became his image. He chose what the world could access. That's not deception. That's design. Application. Craft your image with intention. Don't post everything. Don't react to every opinion. Let your actions, not your explanations, define you, because the mystery of your motives makes your confidence magnetic. Law 3. Use silence as presence. Mystery is not absence. It's control over your presence. Every pause, every calm glance, every delayed response builds tension. That tension becomes memory. The Phantom didn't dominate space by noise. He dominated it by stillness. His silence made others question themselves. Application. When others compete for attention, slow down. When someone tries to provoke you, pause before speaking. That pause will make them realize who truly holds the frame. Law 4. Be rare, be remembered. What's always available becomes invisible. What's scarce becomes sacred. The Phantom didn't appear constantly. He appeared strategically. Every sighting felt like a revelation. Application. Don't give unlimited access to your time, energy, or emotions. Create intentional distance. Disappearing for a while isn't withdrawal, it's reinforcement. Because when you return, people pay attention again. Mystery isn't about manipulation, it's about value control. When you reveal less, you preserve meaning. When you speak less, you amplify weight. And when you choose scarcity, you elevate your worth. That's why the mysterious are always magnetic. Not because they hide, but because they prioritize. They turn curiosity into currency and presence into power. But mystery doesn't just change how others see you. It changes how you see yourself. In the next chapter, we'll uncover the transformation that happens when you master this art, when calm confidence replaces explanation and your silence begins to speak louder than your words. When you stop needing to be understood, you start to become unforgettable. Because true power isn't loud, it's felt. It lives in presence, in energy, in the space you control without words. Once you learn to use mystery, something subtle yet irreversible begins to happen. People start looking at you differently. They begin to watch what you don't say. They lean in closer, not because you asked for attention, but because you withdrew it. You stop chasing validation. You stop oversharing to feel seen. You begin to realize that being known and being understood are not the same. Mystery shifts your identity from reactive to deliberate. You start acting from design, not emotion. You become a story that others want to interpret, not a script they already know. That's when attraction evolves into influence. You no longer have to convince anyone of your worth. They feel it. You no longer need to prove confidence. Your calmness proves it for you. Because calm is seductive, restraint is magnetic, and unpredictability is power. Every movement becomes intentional. Every silence becomes charged, and every interaction becomes a choice, not a reaction. People begin to project qualities onto you: intelligence, depth, confidence, all because you left them space to imagine it. That's how mystery works. It doesn't change who you are. It changes how others perceive you. But there's another transformation, deeper and quieter, the one within. When you master mystery, you stop fearing solitude. You begin to find power in silence, not discomfort. You learn to be with your own thoughts without needing noise. That's emotional sovereignty, the rarest form of control. The Phantom understood this even in his darkness. Beneath the theater, surrounded by shadows, he had something most people never find: complete command over how the world saw him. He wasn't free because he was loved or feared. He was free because he could choose which parts of himself existed in the light. And that's the ultimate transformation mystery offers you: to stop being a reflection of what others expect and become the designer of what they perceive. Because once you learn to master the unseen, you stop being one of many and start becoming one in a million. But mystery without balance can turn into isolation. It can become a prison built from perfection. In the final chapter, we'll reveal the fine line between power and loneliness, and how to use mystery not to manipulate, but to elevate. At the end of the story, the Phantom's greatest weapon, his mystery, became his greatest curse. Because even though he mastered the minds of others, he never mastered the loneliness within himself. He could control perception, but not connection. He could make people fear and desire him, but never understand him. And that is the paradox of mystery. When it loses balance, fascination turns into isolation. The truth is, mystery is not about hiding forever. It's about revealing with precision, because power without warmth becomes tyranny, and seduction without empathy becomes manipulation. The goal is not to vanish behind the mask, it's to design when and how the mask is lifted. Mystery should protect your essence, not imprison it. It should make others lean closer, not disappear entirely. That's what separates the manipulator from the master. The manipulator hides out of fear, the master hides out of discipline. And that's the lesson the Phantom never learned. He created a myth so perfect that he could no longer live inside it. He became the illusion and lost the man. But you don't have to repeat that mistake. You can be magnetic and grounded. You can be mysterious and real. You can control perception without losing authenticity, because mystery isn't the absence of truth, it's the architecture of it. When you master that architecture, you stop performing for attention. You stop chasing validation. You start shaping how the world experiences you. That's how mystery turns into mastery. It's not about being hidden, it's about being in control. Now I want to hear from you. Do you think mystery is a form of power or a form of protection? Tell me in the comments. I read everyone. And if this video gave you a new understanding of confidence, attraction, or control, subscribe to the channel, because in the next episode we'll explore another mind that turned emotion into influence and illusion into strategy. Remember, you don't have to be seen to be felt. You don't have to be loud to be remembered. You just have to be intentional. Stay strategic, stay aware, stay powerful.